Muted.
Hi there, I'm Mark Sebastian, the founder of OptionPit.com, and this is the AM Volatility Report. A reminder, none of this should be considered investment advice. Options have risk. Consult your financial professional. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I want all of my listeners, all of the people following me on Twitter, all of our blog readers, you guys are also my Valentines, along with my beautiful wife and lovely children. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you. We should have our next event posted by Friday, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, make sure you check out the blog every day. All right, there's always something there. So where are we today? Well, we're actually down a little bit after a nice little rally yesterday. We're down a little bit. Another day of a small amount of vol of VIX being up, while Fed futures are downish. March is up a little bit, Feb is up a little bit, so the back end of the curve is up a touch, as it probably should be. It's, a little bit over, I think they're a little bit overdone. The spread between March and standard VIX now sits at 1.8. That actually is a little bit tight, in my opinion. I think it should probably be about 2. So I continue to think the March future is probably a little too cheap on a relative sense, and that the April future at 1.7 higher is expensive. So I continue to like a futures butterfly, long March, short 2 April, long May, something along those lines. I think there's definitely something there. Vol in April is high on a relative basis as well, or March is cheap. I mean, we expect that March to be much higher than it is, given how much time to expire. So, we got, looking at today, we got a lot of Fed governors. We got Yellen speaking either today or tomorrow, or maybe both. I think to each congressional house, half of Congress she's speaking. And at some point, she's going to try and move. The rumor is she wants to move markets to look for a potential 50-50 rate hike in March. Don't think it's going to happen, but that's what apparently she's looking to do. So, that's moving things around. If you look at TLT, it's down again after having a nice little rally. It's down again, and oil has just been bouncing. So that's kind of the way everything is lined up. Apple right near, I mean, it is within a hair's throw of its all-time high. I mean, within a tiny, I mean, look at the way that thing's gone off the rails. Not saying we called it, but we totally called it. You can see it's right near those all-time highs from a while back. Now, granted, there's been a bunch of dividends. So adjusted for dividends, we're not near the all-time high, but without dividends, it is right there. So then the question is, does it move much higher? Well, on in a short-term basis, with this move, you've seen these dirt cheap balls. We were looking here and said, this ball ain't going to get any cheaper. We consider these premiums to be a buy. It worked out. Now that it's back over 15, probably still a reason to have a little more volatility. Remember, Apple has a huge cash position, so every dollar rallies. When it picks up lots of market cap, believe it or not, its volatility should go up because cash becomes a smaller percentage of its value. So it's actually an interesting thing that we may not see vols this low. So we continue to see, especially if it rallies. So if it breaks that all-time high and gets a bid behind it, you're going to see a real marketed increase in volatility. Now, moving on to your Goldmans and your financials, thankfully, former Goldman partner Steve Mnuchin has been confirmed as Treasury Secretary, thus stopping the swift and strong consolidation of financial power from former Goldman Sachs partner Gary Cohn. So, you know, go us. I think I'm looking forward to seeing a name that starts with 2 consonants on my dollar bill. That'll be fun. Now, and I think that's a good team. Between the two of them, those are 2 very smart people, and I think if anybody's going to shape tax policy in an effective way, those 2 guys are the right people to be doing it. So at least we got that going. And you know, that's another reason why these financials are off. We're off to the races. Looking at opportunity, you know, maybe some of these retailers, none of the really bad ones like Sears, but Nordstrom's is interesting. It's had a really rough stretch. This Ivanka news, people want to say, oh, look how it's up. Nordstrom is not up since they dropped Ivanka. It's not down since they dropped Ivanka. It's completely unchanged. It's an irrelevant news story, all right? But they've got earnings coming up, and it is already near, you know, it is at 6-month lows heading into earnings and near 1-year lows. So I may have my next project maybe having a Nordstrom discussion with my retail analyst to figure out what her approach is. That, of course, is my wife, Lauren at Big Blonde Hair, who is my retail analyst that calls them with she's currently 2 for 2, calling the rallying coach and the sell-off in Michael Kors. So when she speaks, it's time to listen. All right, folks. On the day, feels like we'll get a little soft. We've been due for a little softness. Maybe it is the day that we do it. Nothing huge, but you know, maybe giving away near 3/4% or 0.5%, and maybe VIX running back to 11.5. All right, folks. On that note, you got questions? You can email me marketoptionpit.com, or you can call me 888-TRADE-01. Have a good one.